all this unsettling sense of danger around the world. It's like sitting here waiting for something to happen that you don't want to happen. In London, these riots have spread. It's not just London now, it's Birmingham, it's Leeds, southern London, Croydon, a department store burnt down in Croydon, other shops destroyed, some houses destroyed as well, they think. Have a look at the faces of these people running around the streets with their hoodies in their hundreds. It's desperate stuff, and they've almost got a uniform to them. The authorities are saying this is a toxic mix of social deprivation and bad policing. A toxic mix in the streets of London. These are angry people. And they're just frightening scenes in the streets of one of the world's greatest cities, a city to which we have enormous affinity in this country. People are blaming social media. That's the methodology, not the motivation. Okay, just back to London. We've reported through the day the rioting in London, even spreading to more affluent areas like Notting Hill. Now, a journalist who's been in that area overnight in London is on the line. UK journalist Matina Stevis. Hello, Matina.
Hi there, it's Matina Stevis from Notting Hill. Yes, it's certainly one of the more affluent areas, one of the most expensive areas in London. And we have seen a lot of trouble. I live here. There was trouble literally outside my window, a car burning, and several groups of young men just creating trouble, burning and smashing windows and cars, etc. So once that trouble kind of moved a little further away from me, I was able to step out, and I walked around my area for a couple of hours.
And what did you see?
Well, there has been a lot of destruction, but certainly not as bad as in other areas. Something that other areas in London have been complaining about has been a slow response from the police, sometimes taking the police up to an hour to get to affected areas with lots of trouble. In Notting Hill, they were here within 10 minutes, and I have, until an hour ago when I was still out on the street, there was a heavy police force here. I asked police officers, they didn't say if they'd made any arrests, but they definitely showed that they were prepared to and that they were not going to go away. There were several shop windows smashed in very, very posh and affluent streets around here. My local pub, one of the nicest pubs really in West London, called the Walmer Castle, had been its windows had been smashed and been quite badly vandalized. I spoke to staff there, and they said it was a group of 6 to 10 teenagers who threw rocks and bottles, and actually the pub was pretty full at the time. So yes, there is definitely a sense of panic here, even in those protected, kind of shielded areas of London.
Well, as you said, Notting Hill is one of the better, more affluent areas. Any sense where these people are coming from? Have they come, sort of shipped themselves in from somewhere else, or are they locals?
Right. Well, we've heard of that in other areas. In Notting Hill borders with some poorer areas that have traditionally been sort of prone to trouble. Notting Hill itself was the scene of riots in the 70s, but it became very rapidly gentrified and is now, well, the way it is. It's home to many professionals and bankers. I saw 2 neighbors moving Bentleys and Mercedeses from our street for fear that they might be vandalized. Okay. So I think these people are youngsters and people who are perhaps out of trouble, obviously, arriving from neighboring deprived areas, because you can really see the contrast between the rich Notting Hill but the much poorer bordering areas.
Well, you take care. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Matina Stevis, UK journalist in Notting Hill, one of the more affluent areas. And we've got a tweet from a restaurant in that area. So where 30 people were held at knife point, robbed. They're all okay, but terrifying experience. And the people are moving their Mercedes off the streets as the rioters are coming in their hoodies. It's, what is it? Is that 2:45 in the morning around about? So anyway, I'll check the time, but it's going to go on all night, clearly. And I'm sure Dennis will follow it through, and so will Tom, and our newsroom will be on it right through the day and the night. Yeah, 2:44 a.m. in London.